And good morning, everyone, and welcome back to NeelyFX. My name is Michael Neely, and this is the channel where I talk about foreign exchange trading, prop firm trading, building expert advisors for the MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5 platforms, and just in general, helping you become a better trader. And in the meantime, I'm studying this to help me become a better trader and sharing my results with you so you can become a better trader. So here's, I've been trading Forex for quite some time. I think I got my first account, and I blew my first account in 2009. It took me about 2 days to do it. First day, I gambled right on the dollar versus the yen. I say gambling because I didn't know what I was doing back then. On the euro versus the yen, and well, I think it was the pound versus the yen actually, and double my account in 1 day because I was trading a one lot account with like $200, and ended up doubling my account in 1 day. The next day, I said, "Oh, it's going to go down," and it went up more, and I lost the entire account in 1 day. So that's how that happened. But at any rate, it is Monday, June the 1st, and it's the first day of the trading week for the New York session. New York session is about to open about 3 minutes ago. So we'll see what kind of excitement happens today. Probably not a whole lot. It has not been very exciting in the Forex field, I must confess, for the past few weeks because of the U.S. Iran quote stalemate or whatever's going on over there right now, because nobody really knows. So with that, let's go ahead and get into. We are going to be talking about putting money at risk, and you need to know about those risks. So here they are. They go something like this. This channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute trading or financial advice. I'm a professional trader, not a broker, trading my own capital. I do not solicit funds, manage client accounts, nor do I hold CFTC or NFA registration. Forex trading is highly speculative with a high risk of losing some or all of your investment capital. Only trade with funds you can comfortably afford to lose. And here's the CFTC risk disclosure. Forex trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before trading Forex, consider your investment objectives, experience, and risk appetite. You could sustain a loss of some or all of your investment capital. And they really should say this across the board for cryptocurrencies as well. And also want to let you know that if you're not registered as an NFA, if you do not have NFA registration, I've had NFA registration in the past, about 2004 to 2000 or 2002 to 2004. I was working with some small brokerages in Florida. Those are extinct now. The internet and the CFTC and SEC and NFA have all put them out of business for the past few years. But at any rate, those things are kind of in the past now. So if you see somebody making trade recommendations on the internet, that's illegal in the United States, by the way, unless they have NFA registration and are affiliated with an introducing broker. That is called illegal activity. So I don't do that. You're not going to hear me recommend trades. You might hear me say, "Hey, this trade, this might be an entry point. This might be an exit point." That is merely my opinion, not trading advice. So always consider that. So let's talk about what I'm working on today. This is my demo account with a theoretical $40,000 in it. It does not necessarily have $40,000 in it, but we're testing the two Bollinger Band Expert Advisor, which I've just recently completed for MetaTrader 4. We don't have the build for MetaTrader 5 yet. That'll be next. And then, oh yeah, look at this. Here's some more EA stuff I'm working on in Python on Quant Connect, which is kind of a fun little thing to play with to help backtest EAs. I'm backtesting this one. I've converted it to Python because I wasn't quite sure how to make it work in in MetaTrader 4. So we're converted it to Python, working with it there, and then we'll convert it back to back to MQL5. Let's talk about me a little bit more. Here's MQL5, the marketplace, and here are the ones that I have out on the market right now. The Bollinger Bandit and RSI Mean Reversion Pro. It's got a crazy profit factor of like 12, but I do want to refine it a little bit more. It's a little bit more Wild West than I want it, and it doesn't trade very often. It does trade. It is running on my live accounts right now, my live MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5 accounts, but they are not. They don't trade very often. They trade like once or twice in 6 years or something like that. No, well, not that many. Not that few. For that few, it wouldn't be worth it. But if you feel free to download it, tighten it up, and put it in for your uses. You may find that it works on a 30-minute chart. which would be phenomenal. Especially considering the ranges we have lately, which have been really, really tight. Also, let's talk about Forex, tradingforexforprofit.com. This is one of my site. This is my site too. We're going to accept all, and we're going to start. Well, no, we're not going to log for log. We're going to log in since I've already started for free because I built it. And I'll show you what's behind the wheel, behind the stuff here. And let's see what you can do with this. This is where you can list your accounts, and this is these accounts I have right now. May active. I need to put a archive function in that too, to archive the accounts because of the MetaTrader's Cup. Was not extraordinarily successful on that. Account activity, you can do that right here. Right now, you can select your account up here and pick any account. Let's pick the one for that one. And as you can see, I finished at 1,300 pips down. It's actually more like 4,000 pips down, $4,000 down. So I did not blow the account. However, I did not win anything either. You can set up your trades right here on the calculator. And for example, pick your account, pick your pair, how much you want to risk, your stop loss, and go for it. If you're trading on prop firms, I recommend like a 25 pip stop loss to keep you from blowing the prop firm challenge. Set up your journal right here, or you can just import your trades right here. Performance, you can see how well you did. And right now, yeah, this says I'm $692 lifetime. That's since 2023. Those numbers are misleading, but it'd be awfully fun to get those numbers back up. Let's see, strategies. I did lose about $3,000 in 2022 when I was chasing the carry trade dissolving, and it did not dissolve. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Strategies, you get to add your strategies right here. You can set up a new strategy right here if you want to, and put in whatever you want to. That's the London breakout. I'm not quite sure what that is. That's a strategy I'll have to figure out. And here's some news releases I've got in here too. That these are really hard for me to keep up with on a daily basis. So I'm going to set this up as a news aggregator at some point. But right now it is not. It is not set up as an aggregator, so the news is awfully old. I also need to connect this to a live platform too. So I got a lot of work left to do on this, but this is always fun. You can come in, try it for free, and if you're really confident in using the tools I've got now, then come on in and sure, come on in for free at zero. You can learn the basic workflow of tradingforexforprofit.com. Also, the pro version gives you unlimited accounts and allows you to take benefit of the advisory system. And then with premium is $39. Premium news is not set up yet. We do have this is still under construction, so bear with me. But this is my little baby that I'm working on. Now let's talk about the markets. Let's see what's going on today. First, the currency strength meter. The Great British Pound is on top, followed by the USD. And then on the bottom, we have the New Zealand dollar and the Swissy. So this ought to be an interesting setup for today. Risk on, risk off meter. We are just barely into risk on, so that means that we're just barely looking at possibly a weakening weakening DXY. A U.S. stock market should be positioned to go up slightly today, but at any rate, let's go ahead and jump in here and see what's happening. And going to happen. First, let's get out of the chat room because the chat room is not what you want to get into. Bitcoin. Could start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is have seen better days, 72,000 and coming down it looks like. If we go to the full chart, we'll see what's going on there. Also something else, we'll get to that in just a second. So Bitcoin is not necessarily tearing it up. I would not get into that anyway. I do not trade Bitcoin. I do not do crypto. I'm fundamentally against crypto because I do not think it is a viable form of anything. However, we do have the US 10. So let's talk about the US 10 for a second. This is what drives the bond yield, or the bond yield is what drives the currency and decides whether or not it's a strong or weak currency. Well, look, something we see right here is bond yields across the board are going up, except for the US 30, which is at 0. Bond yields that I watch across the 2-year, the 10-year, and the 30-year are all going up no matter what country you live in. The ones that we like to take, that I like to take advantage, I like to watch are the U.S. 10 and the U.S. And the Japanese 10. Now the Japanese 10 looks like it's heading up a little bit, and the U.S. 10 is coming down. What that means is, go ahead and save that layout. We'll come back over here and do this in a different tab, and we'll show you what the, well, that's exactly not what we're looking at. Come down here and look at the US, not the US 2, but the US 10. US 10, and then the Japanese 10. And the Japanese 10. There we go. We're seeing that these are starting to converge, which means the USD and the Japanese yen should be coming down at some point because of the unwinding of the carry trade. It's not happened yet, but when it does, it's going to be big, quick, and it's going to be violent. A very violent downturn of the currency. So with that, we're still watching the carry trade start to come apart a little bit. This is not the closest it's ever been. The closest it's ever been, we're back in the days of COVID. Right back in here, something I like to refer to as the days of COVID, where the US 10 and the Japanese 10 came very close to converging. However, they never did, and so the carry trade just blew up after that. And large companies still take use of the carry trade to make money. And trading Forex, the little guys, we would get crushed. Little guys like you and me, we would get crushed doing that, but the big guys like Toyota Corporation, stuff like that, they would do it. That's not what I want to do. Let's go back. Well, I don't want to do that. There we go. So with that one, we're going to close that one because it just gets confusing after that. Cancel. We're going to save. Close that one out, and let's see what's going on here. Back to the main layout right here, Japanese 10. Let's quit talking about bonds because the bond market is somewhat confusing to me. Euro versus the British pound. The Great British Pound is taking the lead so far this week and this month. So we'll see what happens with that. However, it's still very, very close to the 20-year 20-year moving average. So I would not necessarily jump into that trade right now. DXY is right here, 99.04. Has crossed back over 99, but it's not with any enthusiasm. So we should probably going to see that coming reversing a little bit, especially with us. I think we did do some defensive strikes onto the Iranian military over the weekend. It happens. So we'll see what happens with that. Dollar versus the yen, the inverse of the DXY. It's 57% of the DXY, 56.7%, something like that, which makes it the largest component of the DXY and therefore possibly the inverse. So if the DXY is going up, the USD is going, or the euro versus the dollar is coming down. However, neither one of them have a whole lot of enthusiasm, and I don't like to enter trades right near the 50 mark because that tends to be a psychological barrier. So it has to go one way or the other before I would get into it. So I would not jump into that trade right now. The pound versus the dollar, however, is perking up. Pound is stronger than the dollar right now, so that's going to have have a lot of decisions being made on that. We're seeing some rise on that. So that might be a very short-term trade you could possibly get into. I would not, but you can if you want to. Dollar versus the Swissy, right next to the 20-day, 20-period moving average. Not touching it. Well, I'm on daily, right? Yes, I am. And here we have the dollar versus the yen. Again, not going anywhere. The conundrum, as Michael Boutros calls it. And his video is right now, so that'd be kind of cool. Let's see, it's right at 155. It just will not break 155.6, or barely did. It's up to 159.66. I do have a short on the dollar versus the yen, which is not faring very well. Was looking forward to a intervention drop last 2 weeks ago. It didn't happen. So that's the bad news about getting caught into this. I have a 100 pip stop loss on it at a small position size. So it's certainly not going to break the account, but it's certainly not good for the account either. Pound versus the yen is perking up. It's it's approaching 215. That's usually when we start getting into intervention. The dollar versus the yen is the more carry trade specific, but the pound versus the yen can also drive that decision for the Japanese to intervene. So we're looking forward to an intervention point at some point. I'm probably one of the only people stupid enough to try to trade the intervention point, which means don't do it. Dollar versus the euro versus the yen, perking up to very, very slightly. Not enough to talk about. Dollar versus the Canadian, right here. Again, not really a whole lot to talk about. Actually, it is a lot to talk about. That is kind of a significant move. However, it's not enough to break resistance right here at 138.40. We'll see if that continues to hold. Canadian versus the yen. Usually, look how tight these Bollinger Bands have gotten. So there's nobody trading there's literally almost nobody trading the Canadian versus the yen right now. Usually mimics the oil market. Speaking of which, here's the oil market. Here's the NYMEX Crude, the New York. Oil rises on U.S.-Iran deal uncertainty. I don't think there ever was a deal, but you know, they don't ever clue me in on that. So maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. But the oil's going back up again, around $89 a barrel, approaching 90. We'll see if it crosses it a little bit later on today. Aussie versus the dollar, 71.70. Again, very small change, not a whole lot to talk about. Let's look at the metals real quick. Gold is going pretty much nowhere. Stuck right at 4,500 as it has been for weeks. Did try to break down to the south of it, but did not do it with very, very much enthusiasm. Seems to be very much holding at 4,500. Platinum, 1950. Again, not a whole lot to talk about. Palladium, 1375. Not a whole lot to talk about. Silver, my favorite. And not a whole lot to talk about there, that either. So with that, there's pretty much not a whole lot going on so far today. We're still waiting for some decisions to be made. And also Monday morning, it's and beginning of the summer. So a lot of the big players are still on vacation, probably will be for quite some time, till September. So there are some traders who check out for the entire month or for the entire summer. We'll see if I'm not one of them, but there may be some that do, because I'm doing other things like building expert advisors to help you trade better. But at any rate, that is all I've got today. Again, not a whole lot going on. If you like this video, then hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more of these videos, then hit the subscribe to the channel. And I'd love to have you, and you'll be notified of when I put out more of these videos. And lastly, one more thing. Oh yeah, if you want to talk to me directly, comment in the comment section, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. So that's all I got for today. You guys have a great one. Happy trading. Talk to you later. Bye.